Good blessed Tuesday night, October the 26th, 2021. It's about 10:35 p.m. I greet all human beings all around the world with the universal greetings of peace and the blessings of God be with you. It doesn't matter what your political, philosophical, personal, nor your religious beliefs may be. It doesn't matter whether you're the richest to the poorest person on the face of this earth. It doesn't matter if you're the proclaimed toughest or the proclaimed weakest person on the face of this earth. It doesn't matter if you're my family, friends, nor my proclaimed enemies. It doesn't matter whether you like me or anything I do. It doesn't matter if you're black or white. It doesn't matter what nationality or race or creed you may be. It doesn't matter if you're light-skinned or dark-skinned. I greet you all with that same universal greetings of peace and the blessings of God be with you. Tonight, what I want to talk about some more is me and my two CSI technicians, my 15 and 16-year-old daughters who are my lab technicians and my investigators. We going back to the Bryan L. Johns or the Bryan Lamar death investigation by the Carbondale, Illinois, Jackson County Police Department. Them and all of their professionals, CSI, beat sergeants, investigative sergeants, lieutenants, even their chief of police, prosecuting attorney for Jackson County, Illinois, out of Murphyboro, Illinois, that covers Carbondale, even the pathologist. I think she weighs somewhere in Vandalia. But I want to show y'all something that on the 23rd of September 2021, the prosecuting attorney met with me, a minister friend of mine out of Marion, Illinois, and he brought another minister with him out of St. Louis, Missouri, I believe it is. But both of them sat in on the meeting with me, the newly elected Jackson County, Illinois prosecuting attorney, and one of his paralegals, and one of his victim advocates. It was 3 blacks in there, me and the 2 ministers. I believe the one victim advocate, she was Spanish, I believe, and the paralegal was white, and the prosecuting attorney was Spanish. But he called me there to meet with me to let me know that he was closing the case because he didn't see my son's lynching on March the 19th, 2021 in Carbondale, Illinois, in the 400 block of North Oakland Street in the Gaslights apartment on the 3rd floor in the hallway. He didn't see it as being a foul play. He seen it the same way the Carbondale police said that they seen it was self-inflicted, that my son committed suicide. Now, it's something that he told me, he showed me this. He didn't show me nothing out of this. He took some notes out and he told me Sergeant Draper, Guy Draper from the Carbondale Police Department did a good job securing the area where my son was found hung at. He said he sealed off the area. That's what he said on the paper. And I told the prosecuting attorney that the residents said it wasn't sealed off. And I want to show you something, how sealed it was off. And I want to show you something that a female that may have something to do with my son's death. I'm going to show you how her pictures outdid the Carbondale, Illinois CSI, the crime scene investigator, outdid they beat Sergeant Draper, Guy Draper, outbeat they police chief, Stan Reno, outdid their lieutenant, investigator, detective, commander, Matthews or Matt Dunning, and their sergeant, Jarrett Dunnigan, and then all the other ones that they had out there. I want to show you something now. He said that they said they had it secured now. Look at this real good. What we gonna start off with is what this female that claims she found all of my son's stuff. Now look at the order she got it in. That's how she said she originally. Excuse me. This is how she said she originally found my son's shirts. Then she said she moved them, she separated them to show both of the shirts. That's what she said. She then went downstairs now. Oh, I forgot to tell you. One of the police investigators in his report in this book, it says that she found these things at 0800. That means it was 8 o'clock in the morning on March the 19th, 2021. But they said they found my son's body about 12 or 1 o'clock in the evening. I'm wondering how she got this here. But you see how she had that? That's supposed to be his mask. Now, she said she don't know who any of this stuff belonged to, but she was just out taking pictures. Okay, this is downstairs where the fire extinguisher was in here, and they claim my son must have broke the glass out and took the fire extinguisher over there where he allegedly hung himself. This is that the door? No. This is Sergeant Draper, y'all. He acting my son, I covered it up. Where it got it covered up, my son is hanging down, and this where he's standing at, like he's posing for a Hollywood movie. You would be able to see him with one hand in he's holding up to his ear on his phone, and his other hand is in his pocket. This him taking all these photos while they taking photos of my dead son still hanging. This is what this beat sergeant doing. This is how secured he had the place. You see what he doing now? My son is hanging right in front of him. He's still on the thing hanging. This is the sergeant, hand in his pocket and the other one on the phone. You see what I'm saying? As if he posing for a Hollywood movie or something. This is how secured they had the building. You don't see no crime scene tape out there at all. You see, he was out there taking all these pictures. These is not the pictures that the CSI lady took. These is you didn't even put that X in here with that girl, I don't believe, because I didn't see it. These is not the CSI. This is the beat sergeant, y'all. Can you see this? This is the building that he was found hung in on North Oakland Street. That's F. This is still North Oakland Street where my son was hung. Do you see any tape? Do you see anything secured off like the prosecuting attorney said that Sergeant Draper had it secured? We're going to see how secured. Maybe it's finna get secured now, y'all. Oh, look at that. Y'all can't see that invisible yellow crime scene tape? You see how secure it is? Oh, wait a minute. Maybe it's coming up. Now, here it is, the beat sergeant, all these pictures. This is supposed to be a footprint of my son's gym shoe. Now, this is the back of the heel. Do you see? You notice something strange about this? All this dirt, all you have is a left foot here. But look here, this shoe don't match that one, do it? CSI ain't doing this here. This is Sergeant Draper, y'all, a beat sergeant who the state's attorney, the prosecuting attorney said had the place secured off. I'm still looking for yellow tape to see where it got secured off. But you see this one footprint? Then you see this one here? A whole different gym shoe. But just the left foot. My son had 2 foots. A little bit closer up. You see this? You see how good that print is? And then you see something up here that's not so good. But you can tell this is not this is not somebody walking off of these here. And then you see this other one over here. But they ain't worried about that. Just like they wasn't worried about when they found the Indian guy, Praveen, the Indian student, Praveen in the woods, and a pair of gym shoes out there that wasn't Praveen's gym shoes. But they didn't see nothing wrong with that. Let's keep on going, y'all. Oh, let me see. Is it secured? Do y'all see any type of crime scene tape? Or do you see anybody securing the place, got it sealed off so far? Uh-oh, some more footprints, y'all. It's like a Hollywood movie to Sergeant Draper. You notice him posing in the pictures. No tape yet, y'all. Still looking for some tape, y'all. Oh, this is the axe. The girl that found my son t-shirts allegedly, she had pictures of the axe. She had pictures of the face mask. And she had pictures. Y'all notice the only pictures of the face mask so far is the one that the white female that found my son's t-shirts 8 o'clock in the morning. But they said he died at 1:35. That's another picture of the axe. And if you notice something about the axe, it got gray duct tape on it. But if you look at the end of it, you can tell it's about brand new. I wondered did the CSI people take the tape off and try to get any prints. More than likely they didn't. They let Sergeant Draper get his little movie together. Okay, here we is again, y'all. Gaslight's apartment. Do you see any type of security tape? Anything? Any crime scene tape yet? Oh, they posing again, y'all. They got it secured off, y'all. Where's the crime scene tape? You see the police, they posing, y'all. This is where the fire extinguisher, where my son allegedly broke the glass out, took the fire extinguisher out on the Sycamore side, and took it over there on the Oakland side to hang itself with Moneyball in his hand. That's another thing. We ain't seen nothing in their paperwork talking about the money balled up in my son's hand. They can't say it wasn't in there because the black undertaker seen him when they took it out. They ain't mention him in there at all. This is inside of the building. This is the G side. This is the Oakland side where the girl found my son t-shirts on the 3rd floor. That's around the corner. Do you see any crime scene tape at anything secured yet, y'all? You see, the prosecuting attorney read off some notes, and I told him that's all it was notes, because I went over there and canvassed the area, and everybody over there said didn't know, wasn't no crime scene tape, and it wasn't sealed off because people was coming in and out of their apartments. That's a closer up on the fire extinguisher that was taken out. This is the glass that was on the floor. On the floor from the fire extinguisher being broke. Okay, that's it that I'm going to show on this here right now. But there's something else that I want to tell y'all real quick before I end this here. This book is full of lies. This book is show you how incompetent the Carbondale, Illinois Police Department is. Now, we know for a fact now that they lied when they said it was sealed off. It wasn't sealed off. If it was sealed off, the female wouldn't have been able to take all them pictures. Y'all seen the other one. She took a picture. And then I found out later they said in this report that the female had the shirts inside of her apartment. You see, they had the little light to check for blood. They didn't go in her apartment and check for none. The lieutenant and the sergeant told me, well, we couldn't get no warrant to go in our house. And the prosecuting attorney told me the same thing. If she had some shirts of a dead person in our house and she able to video stuff that the CSI and the other police wasn't able to get, you had probable cause to go in our house. But let me show you something else. I listened to some of the tapes so far. They claim they got a video of my son earlier the previous day on the 18th with this gray hoodie on. Y'all seen these pictures? That wasn't a hoodie. Me and my daughters looked at the pictures with the people, the guy that they claimed that was my son. This guy had on a gray hood. The shirt that this female found to my sons, it was hoodless. It had a zipper right here and a collar. Hoodies don't have collars. But let me tell you something else. When they had the interrogation of the mailman said he came to deliver mail about 12 or 12:30. He don't know. Everybody else in the building said a mailman comes about 1:30 or 2 o'clock. Other people, I talked to 2 mailmans that went past on the 24th and asked them, did they know about my son being hung in the 400 block of Oakland Street? And I was on the corner of Oakland and Sycamore. 400 block west of Sycamore and the 400 block north of Oakland Street. And I asked them, 2 mailmans with different 2 trucks, did they know anything about it? They didn't. Residents in that same building where my son got hung, they asked the mailman that they know that delivered that day, and he said he didn't know nothing about it. But in here, when you listen to the interview, the mailman is being coerced by the individuals that's interviewing him. And he asked him, is it okay for me to interview you? I'm going to let you know I'm going to be recording you. But the mailman said he came there about 12 o'clock and he thought he might have seen something hanging up, some gym shoes or something hanging. Then he said after he delivered the mail, he didn't think nothing about it, and he forgot he had a package for somebody on the second floor. The mailboxes is on the first floor, so if he delivered the mail in the mailboxes, ain't no way he could see what's hanging from the third floor. Now, if you go to the second floor, you can. Now, they got something in the hallway like it's big packages that been delivered, but if you can see, you got a long box, and then you got a wider box, and the wider box is open, so we can tell that couldn't have been delivered by the mailman, not something open. But then when he said he came to deliver, if my son is hanging right here, he delivered something right here, and he said he could see some gym shoes. And if you look at the scene, and I'm going to go back again, he wouldn't have been able to see just the gym shoes. He'd have been able to see the upper part of his legs too, because when he's sitting the box down, his body is right here. And he said he thought that he was doing some pull-ups or exercising. He said the same damn thing that the Indians said. They thought it was somebody that was exercising. But look at this. He brought the packages back later. He said he forgot he had some packages. Then he brought them back later, and he seen some feet hanging, some gym shoes hanging, which he would have seen more than the gym shoes. And if you seen the gym shoes, you thought that he was doing some pull-ups. If he ain't making no movements, how in the hell do you feel he's doing some pull-ups? Or what type of pull-ups are you talking about? Because I ain't never seen no pull-ups when you standing still. He thought nothing of it, and he left. Then he claimed he went down the street, close down there by the 200 block of North Sycamore, two blocks away from where my son's body was, where he seen the gym shoes at, down there where the white female had his food stamp spinning it while he was dead. Then he said he seen the ambulance and the police go down there, and he said, oh, then all of a sudden he wishing that he would have checked. And the investigator said, oh, it's no fault of yours. But let me show you about the interview with the black guy. Him and his wife had my son food stamps. His interview was for about 1 minute and an hour and 9 minutes. 1 hour and 9 minutes. Most of it ain't saying nothing. And they was talking so low you couldn't hardly hear, but I heard him. This man is discussing personal business of my son with a person that may have been a suspect, because the same man that he interviewed for the 1 hour and 9 minutes, before he interviewed him, he interviewed the man's wife, which is a white woman that worked for the Carbondale, Illinois rebound high school right down the street from my son, what they caught her spending my son food stamps 39 days after he was dead. They asked her, do you think your husband murdered Bryan over some meth? Why would they ask her that? But look what they discussing with him. They tell him, oh yeah, you know, Bryan tried to commit suicide. Well, they called the Samaritan house, the homeless shelter. Did you know the homeless shelter called the police on March the 11th, 2021, because Bryan was talking about suicide? Did you know about that? Did you know about Bryan was at the Center for Empowerment, and a female said, we asked her, do she know Bryan? She said she don't too much care from him because he robbed her of $100. Now, the Center for Empowerment, Justice and Empowerment, whichever one it is, the same individual that they interviewing, he did some volunteer work there, passing out food, but he said he met homeless people, but yet he met homeless people and getting their food stamps like he got my sons. You see, now, this man telling him about my son, they talking back and forwards like, you know, he ain't in there for nothing. He done committed a crime, him and his wife. But the police telling him my son's business, personal business. That's what type of investigation that they do here. You seen this here, the Sergeant Draper, he taking photos while they supposed to be. How in the hell he got the place secured while people taking photos? He in it, posing. Then they interviewed another lady in here. A lady that I talked to. So you saying, this what she's saying. Bryan was people accused Bryan of stealing a lot of things, didn't they? What type of interview is that? See, one thing was trying to make Bryan look like he's a very bad person, but most of everybody that they interviewed saying what type of good person Bryan was, even though he had a drug problem. He had a kind heart. The police telling these individuals they interviewing, telling the black guy who stole, who him and his wife was taking advantage of my son's mental health and his drug habit by getting his food stamps, spending it. He had cash on this card and he had food stamps on the card. But he tell the police telling this guy that he's supposed to be interviewing about my son's death. He said, you know, the police department was real nice to Bryan too. You know, we paid for him train tickets to go see his mother. And then he gonna ask him, did Bryan ever speak about his mother or his father? Oh yeah, he spoke about his dad, but he never spoke about his mama. What the hell do that got to do with this investigation of this individual using my son's food stamp card? That goes to show you. You seen these pictures. This woman took the pictures at 0800. They can't take it away. 0800 is 8 o'clock in the morning. Sergeant Draper, the same sergeant, he claimed he seen my son at 7:14 on his way to work to the police station. He seen my son on these two corners on East Main Street and North Wall Street in Carbondale, Illinois. But when him and the other police, these professionals, go back and look at the camera pole, guess what? They can see Draper the same way they seeing here, posing at a man's death, and start out there canvassing the place, fabricating all this mess up in here. You can see Draper, but you can't see my son. He said he was scrambling over a bike. You couldn't even see him. Then they said that he supposed to had a gray hoodie on. And if you looked at them pictures, it wasn't a hoodie. It was like a jacket or a sweater that zips up from here to here, and it had a collar on it. It's plenty more, y'all. My son, he's speaking from the grave. My mother again. My mother again. She telling me, she said, you go ahead on, son. Them angels up there in heaven, you follow what I'm saying? They giving you a high five. Don't y'all believe my son committed suicide? And let me tell you something else he did. When I went, I believe it was June the 11th. When I went down there, June 11th, me and my two daughters, to go view the pictures of my son's hanging, I'm going down there not being interviewed, not to be recorded, but just to look at these pictures. And I done found out this same sergeant, we wonder why he left for almost 30 or 40 minutes and then came downstairs. Then I found a CD in there. Look. I found one of these in there. The day that I came looking at the pictures, he done secretly recorded me. Illinois, according to my understanding, Illinois is a two-party consent. In other words, you don't secretly record nobody. He done record me for 40-something minutes talking to him about this here. He didn't tell me he was recording him. I didn't have no knowledge of what he was doing, but you could hear me and him real clear. But when he interviewing the postman, he interviewing this black individual who him and his wife had my son food stamp card, and I told him the black man said that he had other people food stamp cards too. Everybody that they interviewed, but except me, you can hear him real good. Then you got other videos in here. I'll show y'all later. Sergeant Draper arresting my son. You can hear that. You can see that real good. But I'm going to leave for right now, y'all. You remember that footprint? You got a left foot, but you ain't got a right. How many feet I got here? Is that one or two? Anybody know my son right foot wasn't amputated? Because the man said he seen two gym shoes. But I'm going to leave for right now, y'all. Pay close attention to these things, y'all. Y'all help me do some research. Let's get some of these college students. We can't get them in Southeast Missouri because you got sellout blacks and racist whites. We can't get them in Southern Illinois because you got sellout blacks and racist whites. At least we found somebody in Chicago that don't mind looking at the case. Peace, be still.